It's early. I like to move this early on a Saturday. What's going on, Michael?
It's almost 9. We are headed northwest today to an undisclosed location to do a special episode of Mods with Mics.
Mics?
Mics.
Okay. We're all intrigued now.
There's a place that I call home, where the oak trees grow, where the moonlight glows. But I wish that I was somewhere else, where the sound of city lights keeps me company at night. She's got a sweet personality, smiling from inside the window screen, and she's opening the door to me. Just a stranger, but I'll take it.
Alright guys, so before we get into this video, I just wanted to stop. I was sitting out here editing and stuff, but I just wanted to stop and come back to you guys and let you know what's going on with this. So I've been sitting on this video for several months now because I wanted to try out this product and make sure it really was what I thought it was going to be. So we are working with Roadmaster, and we have installed the Slipper Springs with shocks onto our 2020 Grand Design Reflection 260 RD. So they make several different models. It depends on, you know, your axle sizes. If you have 4,000 or 5,000, 6,000 pound axles, whatever it is, they've got the system for your rig. Like I said, I wanted to drive this thing around for a few months, put a couple thousand miles on it, and just see what this thing does. Short story, it's friggin' amazing. So the first maybe 400 or 500 miles, it was a little stiff, it was a little rigid, but once this thing got broke in, man, let me tell you, probably next to the Gen Y hitch that we put on the front, this is probably the best thing that we've done to our rig, hands down. Like the transition strips on the highways where you hit the bridges and stuff, you don't feel those anymore. The railroad tracks are smoothed out. Not near as much stuff falls off of the countertops and stuff inside. You know, the drawers don't pop open anymore driving down the road. It's just, I feel like it's going to save years on the frame of this rig. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a, you know, commentary of what's going on in this video, because I don't want to show you the 6 hours that it took us to actually install this thing, because you're not going to want to watch 6 hours worth of video me sweating and laying on my back underneath of a trailer. So it's a pretty simple install. You just need some, you know, basic mechanics tools. An impact came in really handy. You do need a decent sized jack that you can jack up the weight of your trailer to get the axles up off the ground, get your tires off. And really all you got to do is take your equalizer off, take your leaf springs off, and you know, the install, or the once you get your tires off and get those springs off, it's pretty much cake from there. You've got the main box that the springs slip into that you have to install up onto your frame. It bolts onto your existing connector for your equalizer that you currently have on your rig. So you slide a bolt through there, you got a couple self tappers that run up through, bada bing bada boom, that thing is installed and you're set to go. The other side of your springs, the new springs, will connect right to your old spring hangers. So you just run the bolts in through those, make sure you take everything down to specs for your torque, and your springs are set. Once you get your springs on there, get those all set up, you do have to take a little bit of time and make sure you get the shock mount brackets just right, because the way you got to put the little wedges in there to get the angles and everything right for your shocks is really the hardest part. So once you get your shocks installed, you know, tighten everything down, get everything torqued where it needs to be, get your tires put back on, lower it down, hop over the other side, wash, rinse, and repeat, right? Do the same thing on the other side. It did take us about 6 hours to get the whole deal done. We did break a couple of bolts though. So we went by the torque specs that were in all of our paperwork, which the directions are pretty spot on. They even have pictures for guys like me. but the torque specs for the shock bolts, they are grade 5 bolts. It said to torque them to 45 pounds. I broke 2 of them, and they were only torqued to 40 when they broke. So I just dropped that down to 35 pounds for the grade 5 bolts that are holding the shocks on. Got the 2 sides done, got it back on the road. I'll tell you, we probably got 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it now, and this thing is smooth as butter. So you drive down the road, like I said, everything's super smooth. When you're backing into those tight spots, you know, you don't have that jerking of your axles trying to twist to get in on the blacktop anymore, because those springs can just slip up into that box, which saves the torque onto your springs. It gets transferred to your frame, it gets transferred to your walls, and right up to your roof. You know, somewhere in this video, I think I even made the comment that, you know, that's one of the selling points of this system, is when these rigs come off of the floor, you know, they're using the same technology that the wagons used going across the Oregon Trail back in whatever year that they went across the Oregon Trail. You know, they're just leaf springs and that's it. This new slipper spring system is amazing. Like I said, it lets your axle shift a little bit when you're turning and getting in those tight spots. And with the shocks, it just floats down the road behind us. And with the shocks, you know, you lose a lot of body roll too that was in hours with just the leaf springs. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the install. I hope you enjoy it. I hope this is helpful for you. If it is, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. If you have any questions about how we did it, or you know, the tools that you need, stuff, leave those in the comments down below. And if you're looking for a suspension system for your rig, definitely reach out to Roadmaster. It has been a game changer for us. Highly recommended, as Shelly K would always say. Let's get to the install video and show you how we did it.
The planning phase. What are you doing? So do you have to unhook?
I prefer it, just because when we're lifting one side, we have to lift it high enough to get it on jack stands. And with this type of hitch, I don't want it to just lean too far. I mean, I doubt it will, but I just don't want it to have any chance of it tipping while it's on your truck.
Well, I don't have a front AC.
Okay.
I think it's going to be by this window, your bedroom window.
So maybe we'll check it here at the air conditioner and up there, see which one's the highest.
Do that one first.
This is definitely higher visually. Just watch your head on the trusses.
Feet 10 inches.
11:10. That's not bad.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode with Camping with the Confers. I am Mike. Shelly K is going to do some videoing today. So today's going to be a full episode of Mod with Mics, just like I said. So we are here with...
Oh yeah, brother, we're gonna get it done today.
Mike Cox, with those who glamp together.
What's up, bro?
How's it going, man?
All right.
They've been nice enough to invite us up to their beautiful barn dominium at the undisclosed location, so we could pull into the barn shed, the barn section of
Actually,
the barn
we
dominium.
just call it the camper bay.
The camper bay.
Yeah.
So today we're doing a big mod with Roadmaster. So Roadmaster's been nice enough to hook us up with the Comfort Ride system. We're going to be putting a independent suspension system on our rig. This is the 5,000 pound version.
Yep.
Whatever it is, they have, so whatever rig you have, they have one that'll be able to handle your axles. So you just have to get in touch with them and tell them what you got, and they will hook you up. So it's the Comfort Ride Slipper Spring system.
Yep.
Is what it is. So I'm gonna go get this heavy beast out of the truck. We're gonna get this bad boy jacked up and get it started. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So step number one, get the tire off the ground.
You're gonna be wore out just from jacking up the...
Well, the upside is this jack works super easy. Around jack. See these guys right here? This U-bolt is what holds the axle up to your leaf spring through this top plate right here.
Alright.
Keeps
Well, I'm glad
everything
that it's hard
connected.
to get off, because that means...
That they were tight?
Right, they were on there good. Pro tip number 2, have a friend that has an amazing barn dominium to do all the work in.
Come in handy, I have to say.
Watch fingers.
Wow, your camper just got really naked.
Out with
Yeah.
the old.
And that is a leaf spring.
That is both the leaf springs and the equalizer in the middle.
Ooh, we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
That holds
Always
that
getting
bracket,
everything.
that holds the base on.
But you
We
still
have to drill a hole.
'cause
And
it's
that's
not
the 21, 23rd.
the 21, 23rd.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so now we got to find your boxes.
I got it sitting over here, so we got a before and after shot. Here's all the old stuff, all greasy and yucky and pretty flat. And here's the new system that's going to be the slipper system that should make our ride super smooth.
By
Roadmaster. This is the outside. It even puts right on the sticker so you don't screw it up.
You and Mike are getting closer than you ever
I
wanted.
know, it's like he's laying his head on your lap. It's so romantical.
How about
Yes.
if I hold this?
Romantical. Yeah, there you go.
Cake. We are marking the holes that we have to drill into the frame so we can get these self-tappers that aren't really self-tappers up into the frame. So we got to drill a hole at each of those 2 dots and each of these 2 dots right here that Mike made with Sharpie. So let's try to not screw this up. Whoa, she's a walker. Now we drill the holes. Wow.
Just put them in lightly, and we want to bring them to torque.
Gotcha.
We don't want to have them already torque off, because I don't want to overdo it. So just get them to just where they start to stop.
Okay.
And,
Hopefully.
Is it like super glue?
It is. It's kind of super glue for bolts.
Does it really take all of these tools? What are you doing now?
Just running this one guy
we're going
down.
to tighten up that slipper box to the hanger bracket.
Slipper box to the hanger bracket. So we have the springs back in on the backside. I did flip the wet bolts around so the Zerk fittings are sticking out, so I don't have to crawl up underneath the trailer anymore to grease it. I can do it from outside. But now we're getting ready to put the slipper box together with these little widgets that go in face down that sit on top of the spring with a grade 8 bolt that goes through it. And then there'll be another round piece that goes on the bottom of the spring to hold it up in there so the spring will move back and forth. So it's going to save you a bunch of torque and twisting on your axles, which transfers to your frame, which transfers to your walls, that transfers to your roof. So we've been using the same technology on leaf springs on these trailers that we were using in the 1800s going across the Oregon Trail, right? They came up with this system to help with kind of dampering the effect of all the twisting and torquing of all of your body parts on your trailer. All right, so this guy's gonna come in back here and slide in. Just kind of move your spring around a little bit. And she's in there like swimwear.
You have to tighten it?
Yeah, we'll have to put a nut and a washer on the, I assume it gets a washer.
No washer.
No washer? And this is the
That
bottom
goes into
piece.
the bottom.
Same thing. That guy goes there.
That's your safety bolt.
And right there. Thanks, sir.
What is a safety bolt?
That's what
So-
holds the bottom of the spring from falling out.
If you notice, the spring has a hook instead of an eyelet. So when you go up high and it drops, that hook catches that safety bolt so the spring can't come out.
Okay.
So the hook will go on this
Just like that.
instead of falling out.
Like,
Yeah, just like
like
that.
that. All right. Good sound effects.
I need a nut for that grade 8 bolt.
Well, it's not like you don't have 27 nuts there.
You're nuts.
Oh, nuts.
All right, let's go over here, grab our U-bolts and the brackets to connect the shocks, get that stuff all bolted together. We'll get this side torqued down, and it'll be done.
What is this piece?
Okay, this is the bracket that holds your springs on, but it also will hold the shocks as well.
Oh, I could have went with the 6-inch, I think, instead of using the 7-inch
Yeah, I
one.
think you could have. All three sizes.
Okay, so this side is completely done?
Nope.
No.
Well, it's done as far as everything's on it that needs to be on it except for the shocks.
Oh, and well, and you have that plate you still got to put on.
So I got this plate, and we
I-
got to do the U-bolts.
All right, we're still not calling time on it then. So you're over here again.
Right, right.
Yes, we are.
What lesson did you learn?
I'm too strong. Are you
Well, the instructions don't give torque for the eyelets themselves. So we just assume that it's the same torque as the other bolts, but it's not. So we're just gonna tighten them to the guns where the gun stops, not stops, but you'll hear the audible difference where it gets tight, it gets much higher pitched. And that's where we're gonna stop. That's gonna be
It's gonna
torque.
be enough.
There are some good instructions here that they send. Now the tires go back on. So it took about 2 hours to do one side.
That's not bad. All right, so we got this side done. Tires are back on, springs are all in. We're gonna go grab some lunch. Mike and Joni were nice enough to put a brisket on last night on the smoker. So we're gonna eat good for lunch today, and we'll come back out and do the other half. It's 12:10, we started at 10, so 2 hours and 10 minutes to do each side. I think we'll do the other side faster because we kind of screwed up something on this side, over torquing some nuts and had to replace them, so let's go eat.
We were gonna take you guys to dinner, and now you made this big old brisket. Oh my gosh, look at that piece of meat. Would you look at that?
It's just soaking it in too.
That does look really good.
I just got a knife out something right there. So let's get this part.
I'm gonna heat up
Go right
these
here.
green beans. These are my mom's.
Look at that. gonna be the highlight of the video.
This is the point, which is the fatty side. So it's going to be a lot moister, a lot juicier, tender. It all should be tender, but this is it's where all the fat was and always is.
It looks amazing.
All right, so time to get started on the other side. Get this side knocked out, kind of walk you guys through step by step how we do it.
So step number 1,
Step number 1, take the tires off.
after you've jacked it up.
After you got it jacked up. All right, so step number 2, get the U-bolts busted loose. So last time they're on there, we had to kind of rig a wrench together to get them loose.
Next step, whenever.
All right, so next step, now that we have the springs loose from the axles, we got to take the springs loose from the spring hangers and get all the old springs out of there. Got to knock these bolts out of here. Got to use a hammer because there's a spline on the back side of it holding it in there.
I don't think that was supposed to happen.
It was not. Nice. Bada bing, bada boopy. And that's all loose.
Goodbye, Leaf Springs.
Out with the old. They're in good shape though. This equalizer's not wallered out, nothing. It's in good shape.
It's not wallered out or nothing.
Not wallered out or nothing. Keep poking fun at me. Good. So Shelly's sitting here recording in her little director's chair, just chilling out, enjoying her day, just hanging out.
That's what I'm doing.
Every good act needs a good director.
I guess that's true.
So what's this now? What's this part?
This is the
slipper box.
spring box. All right, so those are torqued down. Time to put our springs in. So same thing. See the bolt that's holding everything together down here? We use that as the little pin that sits down inside of that hole right there on the axle to make sure everything stays straight. Just like that.
Nice.
And then we'll put our zerk fitting out so we can actually grease these things without getting up underneath of the trailer. Time to put these, what are these called again, Mike?
Those are flat, I forget what they're called. Basically, it's like the upper,
Yeah, it's the top part that keeps the spring in place.
Some kind of plate.
Right?
yeah, it's like the spring plate. Let's call it a spring plate.
Okay.
Spring plate. Yep, now we're a
Gotta come
little
down.
too high, yep. Your U-bolts,
And that was pulling it as we got it set.
which get torqued to, so training for 4 years for the Olympics. I'm going to try out for the crew team and start paddling. What do you think?
I think you can do
Think
it.
I got the form for it?
Yes.
Just so you know, Mike's busy. So just so you know, the kit comes with these plates as well. That's if you don't get the shocks. This goes on top of your springs for the U-bolts.
All right, so next step is we need to torque down all of this stuff to the specs. These gold ones go to 58 foot-pounds of torque, and the silver ones go to 40 foot-pounds of torque. So we're moving right along. This side's all torqued. Time to put the tires back on.
Then you're putting shocks on because you gotta put,
Yeah.
you gotta keep it, yeah.
All right, so we got everything down off of the jacks, off the blocks. We're sitting down on the tires. Now it's time to put in the shocks. So let's put in the shocks. All right, so now it's time to put the shocks on. We got to go down underneath and put a couple brackets on, get those bolted on loosely until we can get the shocks mounted to it.
Actually, we will torque these down, Mike.
We will torque those down?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and torque those down now.
Hey, Mike, well, either Mike, before either of you come, whichever one comes out, grab that from the other one.
The top one's hard to get to.
I did it first.
Yeah, I did.
Figured one less thing in my way. Yeah, it's kind of cantankerous to put on there. It's got to be like just perfect.
Yeah, that's the way mine is. It's just not.
All right, so we got the brackets on that hold the shocks. We got those torqued down. Now we're getting all the bits and pieces out to put the actual shocks on. So after we figure out that process, we'll let you know. Bolt washer through the hanger, to a spacer, to a washer, to the shock, to a washer, to a bolt.
To the, yep.
Just
Say
that.
that 10 times?
Right, I can't say that twice. All right, so on this side, we have the bolt, a washer, through the shock to a washer to a spacer to the wedge. Now I got to compress this shock to get it to fit in the hole that's on the back side of this and get another wedge, a washer, and a nut. So, wish me luck.
Do you need this nut? I can roll it to you a little closer.
Oh, I got it, thank you. Does it help if you stick your tongue out?
Yeah,
I think
it's
it does.
leverage.
So we got that one tightened up but not torqued. So I went ahead and took the little retainer thingy off of there. So all we got to do is torque this one down and it's done.
Okay.
All right, so very last step is stop laughing.
You're upside down.
I know. So let me roll over here. So last step, we got the shocks on. Now we just have to torque down the shock bolts and it will be done. 12 feet exactly now?
Yep. You raised 2 inches.
So we're back to 12 feet tall now. So we went back up 2 inches to where our original height, almost our original height.
I really got to give you guys a look, though, at this beautiful barn dominium that they have built here. I mean, just pull our camper in. They're very kind to not only help us, bring us out to this beautiful place, feed us lunch. I mean, come on. This is a big shout out for those who glamp together. Go check out their channel. Red, you're not getting in there. No, you're not. You better get away from there.
All right, so now we have a completely installed comfort ride system on the 260 RD. So we had to go down to Ace Hardware, pick up one bolt because we broke it. It says in the specs 55 pounds. We broke it at 55 pounds.
55 pounds.
So we had to go down and get a new metric 10.8.
10.8. It was M12 with a 1.75 pitch.
Right.
But it said 10.8 on the head, which means it's a grade 8 bolt.
Equivalent to a grade 8. So it's all done. Now we just have to clean up this mess. All right, guys, so after a much needed shower, I wanted to come back out and talk to you guys about a couple different things. One, why did we put on the Slipper Springs system, the Comfort Ride Slipper Spring system from Roadmaster? Well, let me tell you. So the springs that are on your trailer take a beating. We've been seeing all kinds of people here recently that you know, have had broken springs. We measured ours when we got up to my buddy's garage, and we've shrunk almost 2 inches over the last 4 years in those springs, because really the only way to lose height is for those springs to flatten out, and ours we're getting pretty flat. They break, you know, they need replaced every once in a while. We had the opportunity to work with Roadmaster and do this slipper spring system with the shocks and everything, so you know, that's why we upgraded to the Slipper Springs. But if you guys make a phone call and if you're interested in this system, call over to Roadmaster. I'll put the phone number right here. If you use the code Confers, C-O-N-F-E-R-S, they're going to send you $65 worth of free stuff. So they are going to hook you up with this giant air chuck that's a push and a pull, so you dually guys know how important these things are. And they're going to get you guys one of these giant levels to put on the front of your trailer, fifth wheel, whatever it is that you want to put it on, so you can see your side-to-side level. So if you're going to get one, call them up, tell them the code Confers, you'll get that stuff for free.